You check your bank account and it's barely moved. You saved $5,000 this year, your investments maybe grew a few $100s, and your net worth still isn't even close to 100K. Meanwhile, you hear stories of people making tens of thousands in the market or hitting six figures in their 20s, and you start wondering, why does building wealth feel so slow for me? You see others getting rich, seemingly overnight, and wonder, what am I doing wrong? The truth is, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just in the toughest part of the financial fight, the battle for your first $100,000. And in this battle, the biggest enemy isn't the market or your paycheck, it's your own brain. Let's break down why your brain is wired to make you quit before this milestone and how you can outsmart it. Number 1, the psychological minefield. Getting to your first $100,000 is less about math and more about winning a war against your own instincts. It's a head game where most people quit, fighting three key enemies. First is the fear of loss. For new investors, the stock market's volatility feels like a casino. This fear pushes many to park their money in a savings account, thinking it's safe. But with inflation eating away at its value, that safe choice is a guaranteed loss. The second enemy is our need for instant gratification. We're hardwired for immediate rewards, and saving feels like a punishment. You sacrifice today for a vague benefit in the future, and for the first 5 to 7 years, your progress can feel invisible. This lack of a quick win kills motivation and makes it tempting to just buy the gadget or take the vacation. And that leads to the third enemy, lifestyle inflation, and the comparison trap. You get a raise, and your first thought isn't to save more, it's to upgrade your car or apartment. Meanwhile, you're scrolling social media, comparing your life to a curated highlight reel. This envy creates pressure to spend money you don't have, just to feel like you're keeping up. Number 2, the mathematical meat grinder. If the psychology isn't tough enough, the math is just as brutal. This initial phase is the meat grinder, where your effort feels disconnected from your results. As Charlie Munger said, the first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. It's a period of intense discipline for very little reward. Here's why. In the beginning, your wealth grows almost entirely from your own contributions. Investment returns are barely a rounding error. For example, if you save $10,000 a year, even with a 7% return, it can take 8 years to hit 100K. In that time, your savings will have done 75% of the work. It feels like pushing a boulder uphill by yourself. In this phase, your savings rate matters far more than your rate of return. A small principal means small returns, no matter how good an investor you are. There's no positive feedback from your account telling you you're on track. You're sacrificing, but your net worth barely budges. This feeling of futility is where most people quit, thinking the system is rigged, when they just haven't been in the game long enough. Number 3, how to outsmart your own brain. So how do you win? You don't fight harder, you fight smarter by building systems that bypass your flawed psychology. The most powerful strategy is automation. Your willpower is limited and it will fail, so don't rely on it. Set up automatic transfers to your investment accounts on payday. Make saving non-negotiable. With the money out of sight, you eliminate the temptation. Next, reframe your mindset. You're not depriving yourself, you are paying yourself first and buying your future freedom. Instead of, I can't afford that, say, I'm choosing to prioritize my financial independence. This simple shift feels empowering. Remember, this intense grind isn't forever. It's a temporary sprint that builds a foundation for the next 50 years. To fight the fear of investing, build trust by starting small. Invest an amount you're comfortable with, even just $20 a week in a low-cost index fund. This helps you get used to market volatility without panicking and builds the emotional calluses to stay invested. Finally, focus on what you can control. You can't control the market, but you can control your savings rate. That's your superpower in the early days. Focus on increasing your income and tackling your biggest expenses, like housing and transportation. Use the 80-20 rule. Find the 20% of your expenses causing 80% of the financial drain and attack those. Lowering your rent has a much bigger impact than skipping a latte. Number 4. The 100K tipping point. If you win the psychological battle and stick to your system, something incredible happens when you cross the $100,000 mark. It's a fundamental tipping point where the physics of wealth building change. The boulder you were pushing reaches the crest and starts rolling downhill, picking up speed. This is compound interest finally taking over. Your money starts working for you in a big way. For instance, if your first $100,000 took 8 years, your second might only take 5. The third could take just 3.5 as your investment returns start to outpace your savings. One day, you'll realize your investments earned more in a few months than you were able to save. That's when you know you've cracked the code. This isn't just a mathematical shift, it's a psychological one. Reaching $100,000 is proof that the system works and you have the discipline to build wealth. The feeling of futility is replaced by momentum and control. You're no longer just a saver, you're an investor. You've built habits and knowledge no one can take from you, and the next milestone suddenly feels not just possible, but inevitable. The habits that get you to your first $100,000 are the same ones that will carry you to $1 million. It's a journey that builds character and your bank account. How close are you to 100K? Let me know your biggest struggle in the comments. And if you want to win this war, subscribe for more videos on building lasting wealth. The road to your first $100,000 is the hardest part of your financial life because it's a battle against yourself. It's a test of patience in a world that rewards the opposite. But winning that battle is the most important step you'll take. Once you've proven you can do it, once you've built the habits and weathered the storm, everything changes. The grind gives way to momentum, and the slow climb becomes an accelerating journey to financial freedom. Stay disciplined. The fight is worth it.